your kids be better off than you are, given everything going on in the world today?
Well, if they're Christians, they will be.
Yeah, what does it mean better off? What are the terms of what is defined better
What does
off?
that mean? Yeah, what does that mean? Need more detail on the question.
Are you hopeful for the future?
I'm very hopeful for the future.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
I guess I just think big picture, right? Marie and I often talk about it. I just think you really want to live in light of eternity. And that's kind of as much as I can. I try to live in the light of that. And I really struggle with it because I'm very materialistic. But
Okay.
I just think even for our kids, like, you know what, we're called no matter what season we're in, no matter what things look like on this earth, no matter what political parties in power, all these things that we talk about all day long and have strong opinions. Like as Christians, we're just called to live, to be a light in that. And I mean, the early Christian church, there were people literally getting impaled on stakes and lit on fire as torches. And like, that's the gospel spread, and it spread through China, and it spreads in other countries, and it's spreading in the Middle East, which is most, a lot of Muslims and whatever. And I just think we in North America have very entitled that we have lived in, like, basically, especially our forefathers, right? Let's say in the 50s, 60s, 70s, for sure in the 50s and stuff, it was like basically the bulk of the people were probably nominal Christians for sure, right? And I just think, hey, that's no more. And even for me, I'd like to think that that's the best. And sometimes I even think I should move to a place like that. But I'm not sure that's what we're called to do, obviously, because I'm still here. And I think like the idea of like, hey, I could move anywhere. I could move to Texas. I could move to other parts of the world. And I just think, hey, are we called? We're just called to be the salt and the light wherever we are. And that could be like Joseph in the prison. And then he was the leader of the, I'm assuming pagan country of Egypt. And I think for us, it's like, it's going to, in our own little world, whatever that is, we're just called to do the right thing. And I think people antagonize way too much about bringing utopia to earth. Yeah, you nailed it. It's the world is full of sinful people, including us. And we are just called to try to do the right thing in each moment. Right. So.
Yeah, I think about two things. I think about Israel when Jesus came. What they were hoping was that he was going to like become like a warlord or like a guy that was going to conquer Rome and like they were going to have all their freedom back and like everything was going to be great on earth. But he's like, I didn't come to save you from the Romans. No. I came to save the world. I came to save you guys from yourselves. And they wanted an earthly king, and I think we still want that now too. Like we want everything to go back to normal in Canada and
whatever normal is.
Yeah, everything's right and stuff like that. But it's like it's this earthly view, and that's not. This world is fading, and it's infected, and it needs to be made new. Right? It's going to get ultimately totally destroyed. And
I do think it's a bit of a bias too, where people think that everything was the good old days is how it's always been. People 60 years ago would have said that too. It's actually not reality.
No, John Piper says this in a sermon. He goes, the last 300 years in Christianity in North America have been an anomaly compared to the history of Christianity, when there's usually been the minority and in suffering and under persecution. Yeah. It's been like, this has been an odd little blip, whatever. And so we're just going back to normal.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't want to be persecuted, but.
No, neither do I. No, I mean, I think about it on this podcast too, with these like new laws coming in and stuff like that. I'm like, what's like, am I going to get arrested? Like in the UK, they do. So that, is that 2 years away from me? Like that makes me uncomfortable. I do think about that. You think about that?
About getting arrested?
Yeah.
It's happened to me.
Again?
Again. I'm getting arrested again. So that would be very strange, but I could totally see it happening.
Yeah.
And I think that, the world we live in, it's the thought police is out there and people are, we're putting ourselves out there, I think. And that's why people don't. And that's the irony of people that even you ask to come on here. They don't come on here because they're just scared of what people think. And they're scared of what, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not scared of what people think. I am scared of being arrested.
That's obvious.
Like, I don't want that. I think about my boys. But the other thing I was going to say, though, is I've been reading more up on Daniel recently.
Okay.
And some books from him and stuff. And my mom actually used to say to me growing up, she's like, Kyle, don't be David, be Daniel. And, David cheated on his wife.
Yeah.
And Daniel was upright. So I, of course, didn't listen.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
But anyways, Daniel, he was like trained in Israel to be like one of the top. He got like the top training in school and like physical. He had to like look the best. He was like the ultimate stud, and he was like hyper trained to be like to serve in the king's palace or something else like that. To basically like like top Navy SEAL type thinking, kind of guy. And then they got Babylon overthrew Jerusalem, and he got captured and sent over to Babylon. And of course, he stayed faithful, and his faith was tested many times. But he became a ruler in a wicked, country that was totally anti-God from what he was used to. But he was faithful in it, right? He kept believing in God while he was doing all that, and he did his best with what he had. And so I was thinking more just I want to raise my boys to be Daniels, because they're probably going to end up in a very secular
Oh, I think
world.
even we are. That's a great analogy. I
Yeah.
think that's probably we don't talk about enough, about just being a Daniel in Babylon.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so like raising our boys to get ready for that, right? Daniel was trained a long time. Even his training in Israel helped him in Babylon when he was a ruler there. So like, what are we doing with our boys now? Like, are we? I think about it. I'm like, when they're 18, they got to be ready to go.
I find it fascinating, even for myself. I mean, we were just on a holiday, and it's fascinating how I pray anywhere, I don't care, but I still care. And it's fascinating how we worry about what people think. It's fascinating how we don't, and I always think of that. I don't know where it says in the Bible, but God basically says, hey, if you're ashamed of me, watch out, or whatever, or I'll be I don't even know. I'm going to butcher the text now, but just that idea. Right. And I think that, hey, it's important that we have confidence and that we, just talk to God about it. First of all, start there, right? That's what I do. It's like, hey, in your heart, right? It's like, hey, how come I'm struggling with this? Sorry, I'm struggling with this. Repent of that. Yeah. And I just think, hey, there's something really beautiful of being uncomfortable and just, being okay, being different. And we should look different. Yeah. Yeah. It shouldn't just be that, hey, we're, people that have a list of weird things that we do. Yeah. We should be way more loving. We should be way more generous. We should be caring for people that struggle, right? And I think if we have that culture, we still probably, nobody will appreciate it. And obviously people that, are going to be coming after us, and the devil's coming after Christians. But I just think there's oftentimes we do focus way too much on kind of, we do this because and they're just weird rules and regulations that we've kind of created, or That's things that we do. And they're not any of those things are inherently wrong, but that shouldn't be the backbone for what we're actually doing. Like it should, it's supposed to come from a love for the Lord. And if it's not, we need to ask ourselves why it's not, right? And I think often we get into these weird, every denomination in church does, we get into these weird traditions and practices that we do, and that's how we stand out. And there again, it's not wrong that we do. It's just, it's the idea of, hey, what is the basis of our,
That's right.
Do we have faith? Right? Yeah. Or do we just call ourselves Christians?
Yeah. What do you have faith in? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
What you focus on grows, I think, is important. Like what you focus on grows. What you think about a lot, what you spend your time with, that's what grows. And so I think the only way to really change is to read the Bible. Like it's not just any ordinary book. Like it has power behind it. And if you actually take time to read it a lot, you will change. Like it won't be because you tried harder. It's because you'll understand.
It was interesting
actually believe it and want it. Like and you just got to start reading it. Like just read it every day. Just read it. Yeah. Like, and it's the one thing where I believe Satan's involved in this, and the demons and stuff like that are always trying to figure out ways where something else comes up before you read, or like there's something else to do, or one quick email to answer, or whatever else like that. But like, just do it, and it will just change you, and you'll be ready if the shit hits the fan 3 years from now. Mm-hmm. Like, because you got to be ready. Otherwise, you're going to be like a wind, like a boat flip through the waves or whatever.
Yeah.
That was probably the Message version or something.
That was a weird analogy.
It says that in the Bible.
Like a ship without a rudder?
No, like tossed back and forth like every wind of doctrine. I don't know. It's like a boat in the ocean. I can't remember. We're at 42 minutes.
We are over. This is... Once again, I'll go home and say this was the worst one ever.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.